Hi, welcome back to the Sitefinity Next.js series. In this video, we'll go through the steps to create, register, and add a custom view to the Sitefinity content list widget where all the default views show. Let's dive in. We have our Sitefinity Next.js app open in Visual Studio Code. It is based on the Sitefinity's Next.js starter template, and it is connected to a Sitefinity 15.2 project that we set up locally in headless mode in one of our earlier videos. To get started, let's open a new terminal and start the development server with the command npm run dev. Once the server is up and running, we can navigate to localhost 5001 and log into the backend. In the Sitefinity backend, under the Pages tab, we have a news page. We open it for edit and we see the content list widget already added to it. This is a reusable widget and its views can be used across different content types. In this case, it's configured for the news content type. Under the list template dropdown, we see 3 templates provided out of the box with the Sitefinity Next.js starter template: list with image, list with summary, and cards list. For this demo, we'll extend the cards list view. To create the custom view, we'll start with the default markup of the cards list view. For this, we'll visit the Sitefinity Next.js SDK repository on GitHub at github.com/sitefinity/nextjs-sdk. This is the source code of the built-in Sitefinity Next.js widgets. The cards list view is inside widgets, content list, master, because we're extending the list view, then cards list, and inside the cards list folder, we open the cards list view file. This is the default implementation of the cards list view. We copy the content of this file and head back to Visual Studio Code. In Visual Studio Code, expand the source and the app folder. Inside the app folder, we're going to create the folder structure and the custom view file. Speaking of folder structure, you can follow the same structure as on the Sitefinity Next.js GitHub repository or come up with your own structure. For this demo project, inside the app folder, we'll create a folder named widgets. This will house custom widgets views and any extended widget entities. Inside the widgets folder, we create another folder named content list, and inside that folder, we create a folder named cards list. Finally, we create our custom view file and name it cards-list-custom.view.tsx and paste the code of the built-in cards list functional component we just copied from GitHub. We need to update a couple of things here. First, we need to update the import statements to pull the components and modules from the Sitefinity Next.js SDK. We'll import React as well. And one last update we need to do is to change the name of the functional component. For this demo, we'll simply call it cards list custom view. And we have a custom content list cards view with the default markup, which we can further update and customize, add our own CSS classes, update the HTML structure, add new elements to it. We're going to customize it in one of our upcoming videos where we'll use the React components of Microsoft Fluent UI design framework. For the moment, we're going to keep the default markup. The next step would be to register the custom view. We do that in the widget registry file. First, we need to import our cards list custom view functional component. Then we access the Sitefinity content list widget from the default widget registry. The Sitefinity Next.js SDK provides default widget registry for the out-of-the-box widgets. And then we get the views collection of the Sitefinity content list widget and add our custom view to the collection with key cards list custom. This is the name of the view, which will show in the widget designer under the list template dropdown. We can now go to the backend, open the news page again, edit the content list widget and check the list template dropdown. And here we go. We have our custom view listed in the dropdown. We select it. We notice that the field mappings are not loading. In one of our upcoming videos, we're going to deep dive into registering the mappings for the custom views and extending the entity. For the moment, we save the changes, publish the page, and view the page on the front end. The content list widget is now rendering the news items using the custom view we just created and registered. We notice that the images are not loading. Let's go back to Visual Studio Code and have a look. There are no errors in the terminal logs. Let's check the code sample rendering the image. It checks if item image URL exists, and if so, renders a single image element. Let's update this code and make it work for multiple images. We check if item image and item image value exists, and then we map over item image value to render multiple image elements. We save. The website should have already refreshed, so we go back to the news page in the browser, and the images are now loading. And that's it. We've created and configured our custom view for the Sitefinity content list widget. Our next step will be to further customize it by adding our own markup and logic to it. In our case, by plugging in the Microsoft Fluent UI to take advantage of a pre-built and cross-channel design system. If you enjoyed this video, give it a like, subscribe for more tutorials, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video of our Next.js series.